Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the positive edition of the Chivas Del Norte podcast. This is the episode where we're going to talk about the women's Chivas team. With me, as usual, Melissa and Luis. What's up?
What's going on, guys?
Great, 3 weeks in a row that we are super líderes, so just give us the trophy and call it quits.
That's why I joined the podcast. I was like, I'm tired of the other one. I'm tired of the men's podcast. I don't want to be on it no more. It's too negative over there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
we're
they're the ones who are making us happy right now.
For real. I keep tweeting out that meme that I made of the Drake meme, like waving no to the men's team and pointing yes at the women's team. Like I feel like that's just gonna happen for the rest of the season.
I agree with you. I think that's what it's gonna look like.
To be honest, I didn't watch the men's game this week.
You didn't miss anything.
Yeah, I was like, I'm feeling really great. I'm having a nice weekend. I don't think I want to mess it up.
That's so smart of you.
Yeah. I think it was the worst Chivas men's game I've watched in a while. Maybe like all time.
Yeah. I know we're going to talk about it on the other podcast, but I missed the party. I was invited to not like a party. My cousin was having her daughter's birthday barbecue. So they invited me to go over, and I missed it to watch the Chivas game.
Damn.
At halftime, I was going to leave, and I was like, no, maybe they'll get one. Maybe they'll get one. Trophies is going to come in, and they'll get one. And I didn't go, and I regretted it as soon as the game ended. It was like you said, it was one of the worst games I've ever seen. But the Femenina on the other side, that was a pleasure to watch.
Yeah, man. They got something special going on right now. We didn't record for the Chivas Necaxa game because it was a midweek game, and we figured we'd just cover both games in one pod. So since we last recorded, Melissa, Chivas beat Necaxa 2-0, and they beat Toluca 4-1. And like you said, they're still super líderes. Alicia Cervantes is still the leading goal scorer.
No, she got passed by
Desiree
Monsiváis. Yeah, Desiree has 5 and Cervantes has 4 goals.
Oh, man. It's all right. She'll get him back next game. We're going to play Mazatlan, so that's a favorable matchup for us.
Yeah, she's going to get 4 for herself.
Cervantes? Oh, my God. She's so good.
Yeah, that's why I switched my Twitter username. I was like, this is Alicia Cervantes fan account now. I don't care about the men's team anymore.
Yeah, once they finally have the women's jerseys for sale, I was thinking, is it too soon to get the Cervantes jersey? I think not. Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to do it.
Oh, they're finally available?
No, they haven't.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I haven't checked today, but they're still not available.
It's a team that we saw, for example, this past week. Is that like the starting 11 for Chivas, or were they missing any players, or is there anyone that we didn't get to watch?
I think he did switch a few things. They didn't have like Miriam Castillo on the mid because she has been like the center mid for a very long while and she wasn't there. And also for the Toluca game, they didn't have Yashira Barrientos, who is usually like the sub for forward, so we didn't see her at Toluca either.
I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anyone.
No, I mean Chore has been like rotating players, so that's also good because you want everyone like at a good level, because they're going to have like weeks where they have to play like 2 matches with 3 days of rest in between. So if you can get everybody in a good rhythm, that's going to be helpful for them.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah, for sure. But let's talk Chivas Necaxa. Chivas beat Necaxa 2-0. Melissa, I think Chivas controlled the game the whole time, and honestly, I thought they would have won. They should have won by more. I think 2-0 was a very favorable scoreline for Necaxa with the chances that Chivas created.
Yeah, I mean, Necaxa are one of the weakest teams in the league, and they are a team that Chivas know well. Like they played each other a lot. So, I mean, I was also expecting them to really step in and maybe get a few more goals, but that's when we kind of saw like what the biggest problem has been for the team in the first 2 matches, which is like they really fall apart on the second half. Like they don't get like really pressed, but they don't really generate a lot compared to the first halves that they had on the first 2 matches.
Yeah, they came out once again firing in the first half. You had a 12-minute Alicia Cervantes header assisted by Maria Sanchez. I think that goal to me stood out just because of Cervantes' movement in the box. It was like she read that play perfectly, and she even got bumped, and she still like got such a clean hit on the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I think that she has, like, right now, she's unstoppable in terms of confidence, and she's like trying to do everything, and everything's coming off well. So that kind of like gives you that edge of saying I can try whatever I want to try, and it's going to go in. I mean, she's on fire, basically.
Yeah, she can't be stopped. She is that. I think that's the game she even tried like a chilena at the top of the box, and I was like
Nah, that
that.
was the Toluca game,
Oh, was
no?
that the Toluca game?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
right after she scored too. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, you got to be like oozing confidence to try that at the top of the box. Just to attempt it, you got to be oozing confidence.
That's what I was gonna say. Like you can tell she's playing with like a lot of confidence. Everything just is just working for her. Her movement, the way she holds the ball, looks for her teammates out wide to then make the run into the box. Like you can just tell she's playing with a lot of confidence. That's why I don't know. I don't remember if I asked Varo on the podcast or was it off air. Because when I looked at her stats, I saw she only had like 2 goals at Monterrey, and I'm like, how's that even possible? She looks like she should be scoring like 12, 15 goals every season.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with her at Monterrey was that they were playing her on the left wing, so she wasn't like the center forward.
Ah,
So
see, that makes
I
sense.
mean, I think that she's now like on the sweet spot in terms of being where she's most comfortable, because Monterrey has Desiree Monsiváis, so it was not easy for her to be able to get that starting spot. And they never really tried to get them both at the same time. And I think that's also like, interestingly enough, for Rayadas now, they are really trying to have two like center forwards now. So maybe he's now feeling bad that he left Alicia go, and now he's going to fix that now with his team. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the things. I think that her being able to play on her favorite position now, and like, I mean, having someone like Maria Sanchez at her side is really really helping her in terms of feeling like really comfortable and trying new things, and just also that hunger that we've mentioned that she has.
Yeah, when you watch her play, you wouldn't be able to tell she's new on the team. She's a new player on the team, and you would think she's been there. The chemistry she has, it looks like she's been playing with them for a while now.
Yeah, I think that they found like the right pieces. Definitely Jaramillo and Cervantes were like those extra things the team needed to really click, because we used to see that it was really hard for them to win like by larger margins. They were usually winning by 1 goal, 2 goal stops. So being able to score this much and this fast is like a really big difference for them.
Yeah, you mentioned Jaramillo, Melissa, and she also had she had an assist in that game to Nicole Perez at the 20th minute. Nicole's shot took a deflection, but I think that shot was going to be on target regardless, so she still got credit for the goal.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. The kind of shot that Nicole does really well, because she's really good like at free kicks. So that kind of getting it over the goalkeeper is kind of her style. So it really suited her really well to take that shot.
Yeah, and then Nicole Perez, obviously we're going to talk about her again in the Luca game, but yeah, she's also really a really good player, plays well on the ball, and but to me, I think Jaramillo's been like a great. She's looked great. I'm not too familiar with how she's looked on teams previously, but she's like really controlling the midfield and does like a really good job of keeping Chivas, I think, together there.
Yeah, I mean, Jaramillo is like very technical, but she wasn't getting a lot of playing time because she had some injuries. And because Tigres is like such a stacked team, like anybody who loses a little bit of step, like you get passed over. So I think that also for her it was a good move, like coming into Chivas, because she's able to get like those starts and like rebuild that confidence. Because now that she's becoming also, I mean, she's maybe a little bit underrated, maybe right now, but she's also what the team needed in the midfield, because in terms of left midfielders, we only had really had Tania Morales. So whenever she'd get injured or whatever, it was like a really noticeable gap there. And I think that now Jaramillo can be like that successor to Tania. I mean, they don't maybe play exactly the same, but she's like a really reliable like aid in terms of building play on the midfield on that side.
Yeah, she had a really nice shot at the around the 50th minute that she hit the crossbar, and you mentioned that you've seen her practicing those during practice.
Yeah, she's been trying like the mid and long distance shots. Like there was a video of them training, and she was really working on that. So I guess that she really wants to score, but I mean, there's nothing that you can ask more for her in terms of her being like now this presence and this engine on the midfield in terms of helping build play. But yeah, I mean, I hope she gets to score soon.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping it would happen against Toluca, but I'm trying to recall if she had any long distance shots, but I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I think that it was against Toluca. It's like more about controlling the midfield because that's like their really strong line. So I was kind of expecting it to be like a little bit more locked in the mid. So it was like I think maybe more important for her to try to regain the control there rather than trying to move forward and take over an attack for Jaramillo.
Yeah, for sure. And then let's just mention that Necaxa goal that got taken back after they executed the free kick wrong. I think it was an indirect free kick. So when that happens, a player has to touch the ball before you take a shot at goal, and Necaxa just didn't do it right.
Well, the girl missed it, right? The girl missed the step, like touching it.
Yeah, she didn't touch it.
So the girl just dribbled it and shot it.
Yeah, because the other player like pretended to have touched the ball, but they didn't touch it. Like they just went past.
Yeah, and there, Melissa, there's no VAR, right, in Femenil right now?
No, they don't have VAR. And actually, I remember that was Francia Gonzalez, I think, the referee. And I've seen 3 matches from her, like on every jornada, and she's really not doing well. I mean, huge tackles and not giving even a yellow card, and then that thing that happened with Chivas on the second match week, and then I can't remember. I think that she was on the San Luis match, and I checked that one out, and there was this play where the San Luis player had taken like advantage on attack, and they had like an open space to shoot, and she caught the play to give a foul, so she didn't let them like have that play. And I was like, dude, she's making like these really big mistakes in refereeing, and she's still getting like matches to lead. So I don't know. I mean, I'm really having a problem with her as a ref right now.
Oh man, I don't know about that. I guess that's something to keep an eye on. I do a bad job of that. Like in terms of like, I never really pay attention to the refs. I think maybe in Mexico, like maybe like what do they call him? Chiqui Dracula or something like that. They were calling him. Him. I would like pay attention to, but besides that, I never really pay attention to like how refs do and like paying attention to who gets assigned what match.
Yeah, no, I mean I had checked her because I don't know, there was like a big controversy with the Tigres match on the first jornada. And then, like, on the second, when I saw that she was going to be refereeing for Chivas, I was like, I hope she doesn't mess it up. And then when that happened with the goal, I was like, no. And then I saw that she was going to be at the San Luis match, and I thought, okay, I'm going to give her another chance. And then I saw what happened, and I was like, nope, she's not cutting it right now.
It sucks that they don't have VAR because it's not easy. Listen, I've ref games before, and I was a lines judge, and there was times where I looked, I was like, oh, I have to make a call, and I would just, in the moment, you don't know what to do, and you just go with whatever you think it is. So it's not easy. It's not an easy job, especially without VAR.
Yeah, I mean, I really hope that they try to get the VAR at least maybe for Liguilla. I think that could be great for them.
Oh, now that you bring up VAR, that just reminded me of something. My only criticism was that I didn't like about the game was like the camera angles. I wish they just raised them a little bit more. I felt like they were so low to the ground.
Yeah, because this one was at Verde Valle, right? So it was not at the stadium. Yeah, it's kind of hard to get good angles on that pitch.
Yeah, that's why I
upgrade that.
That's why I don't like watching the youth academy games because the camera angles kind of don't do it for me. Like, I don't really like them. But,
yeah, I think that happens a lot, like when they play in Verde Valle, because it's kind of like really small, and maybe they don't have like that much space to set up the cameras or something.
Yeah.
Why don't they play at the stadium?
They are going to, like, the next matches. I think that only this Necaxa game was the one that they had scheduled at Verde Valle. The rest of them, they're all going to be at the stadium, including both Clásicos, which they are getting at home this season.
All right, guess we'll get good camera angles. Whew. I was like, come on, but I gotta upgrade that.
Let's talk the Chivas' next match, Chivas Toluca. It was another Chivas win, 4-1. I was talking with Melissa before we started recording, but I thought this was probably Chivas' toughest challenge so far in the 3 games that they've had, and they went into the first half 1-1, but then Chivas managed to pull away in the second. Melissa, I know we've talked that they haven't really done a good job playing second halves, but this game was the one.
Yeah, I mean, even Chore on his post-game press conference, he did say that even beyond whatever result they were going to get, he really talked to the team in terms of saying that the priority was being better on the second half, and they really did deliver that. So I think that they really did a good job in terms of improving. And I mean, coming in, we know that Toluca is a tough team. It's a team full of like a lot of young talent, and those young players they have been maturing and they keep getting better. Their captain is Natalia Mauleon, who is only like 18 or 19 years old, but she's already like she's from the same generation as Nicole Perez from the U17 squad that made it to the World Cup final. So she's like also very experienced. And yeah, I mean, we knew they were going to be hard because they also really pushed Tigres when they played. So it was going to be a very interesting test. And when they were like 1-1 on the first half, I was like, okay, I want to see how they react now because they hadn't been on that situation on the first two matches, and it was about seeing how well they were going to react and to see if they were going to be able to pull off the result.
Yeah, I think Toluca tried to. Well, they did it in the first half. They were pressing Chivas, which we hadn't really seen yet, and it was Chivas had a decent reaction to the press. I think.
Yeah, I mean Toluca is like a lot about the midfield. Like they really control the midfield, and because they have like these players like Roman and Mauleon who can really go from the mid on and take like long distance shots or finish really well. That's why they are so dangerous too. So I was expecting it to be played mostly on the mid and to see who was going to be able to control that part. So I think that they really did well in terms of being able to break down that mid and push over for the goals.
See, I thought when I was watching, I thought Chivas was doing a good job, maybe pressing forward, pressing the Luca players, especially in the first half, early in the first half. But Barro says that they responded well. The one thing I did like was that Paulo Fox and Maria Sanchez, they stayed out wide and they stayed up top, so it always gave them like that outlet pass. Like they had the three forwards up top. I mean, I think that was big for them.
Yeah, and I mean they've all really been fighting. I mean, you don't see like Cervantes letting the ball go past like, oh yeah, maybe the mid will sort that. I mean, they all really go and press, and everybody goes and helps with that. So I think that's also helping Chivas a lot in terms of keeping the ball on the opponent's half and like really pressing and trying to find those mistakes they can make goals out of.
Yeah, Luis, I don't know. I felt like maybe out of the three games that I've watched, this was probably the one that frustrated Chivas the most in the first half. Maybe that's what I meant. But let's talk about the goals real quick for the first half. Alicia Cervantes volley assisted again by Maria Sanchez. A great finish. She wanted the ball the whole time. You saw her call for it. She pointed where she wanted the ball. Maria Sanchez delivered it, and I think she scored it like with her knee or something, which is crazy. But when you're on fire, like you score with every part of your body. You could ask Chicharito, like he made a whole career off of it.
Yo, the announcers on Univision, they were like, did you listen to it? They gave Sanchez her props. They would say it was a beautiful cross, great cross.
They're like hating,
and they were basically saying that anyone could have scored it. That the cross was so good that anyone could have scored that. No, that was a great run by Cervantes, and it's not to score from there at that position without letting the ball touch anything else. Like that's a hard goal to score.
Yeah, I mean you put Peralta there and he misses.
No. I've seen Omar Bravo in his second run with Chivas. A lot of those too. So for them to disrespect Cervantes on her goal like that was messed up. That was a great run that she made.
That commentary.
Yeah, because she's also making it look easy.
Mm-hmm.
I guess so. It's kind of deceiving in terms of saying, "Oh yeah, I mean, it was a great cross, and maybe anybody could have finished that." But when you see it, like maybe in like slower motion and stuff, you see like all the adjustments that she makes to be able to finish that, and it's crazy at like the level she's playing at right now.
She also has like this like a really great burst of speed that's almost like kind of sneaky. You almost don't think like she's gonna get to it, but she does. She's a lot faster than what I thought.
Yeah, I think she's really fast right now. And I mean, that also was kind of like what we expected. I mean, we expected Chivas to go in with a goal really fast. So the interesting part was seeing that Toluca was able to get a goal and to break off the streak of clean sheets for Blanca Felix too.
Yeah, Toluca scored at the 40th minute off a corner, but not like directly. It was kind of like a scramble in the box, and Toluca recrosses the ball into the box, and the player is there to connect and just gets it over Blanca Felix. So yeah, they went into the first half tied. At that point, Melissa, what did you think? Did you think Chivas was gonna bounce back, or were you worried about another underwhelming second half performance maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I was worried about that because I was also looking at the bench and I thought, well, maybe this is the kind of game where I would like to see maybe someone like Yashira Barrientos step in
Yeah,
and see if she could maybe help break things up a little bit. But she wasn't even on the bench, so I was like, okay, I'm going to see what Chore has in store for us now that there's not that like really clear option, and to see what he has planned in terms of making sure that they could score in the second half. Because ahead of this match, they had like 6 goals, I think, and out of those 6, like only one they had been able to score on the second half. They had all been on the first.
yeah, I know we had been mentioning it for a while, and then but I want to talk about the 48th minute, the one-on-one save that Blanca Felix made. I thought that was like the momentum shifter. When that happened, I was like, oh, Chivas is about to go win this because that's it. Like you can't get past Blanca Felix after that.
Yeah, she's really good at that, at those one on ones. She's really solid on that. So I think that yeah, she's a like a player with a good leadership. So when you see that she's solid on that, I mean, it also motivates the team to say, look, we got the defense sorted out. Now we need to go after them too.
Yeah, and that was 3 minutes into the second half. So if Toluca scores on that, you also have to consider what the Chivas' team morale would have been like had they gone down 2-1. That would have been a completely different response in a different game.
Yeah, absolutely, because they have never been down in the scoreboard this season. Mm-hmm. So that also would have been like, how are they going to react to this new situation of not having so much control over the match?
Was Toluca a Liguilla team last season?
I think they haven't made it to Liguilla yet. But everybody always knows that they're like a really dangerous team. Yeah, I mean, they're really solid because they have like all this U20 talent. And I think that if they are able to keep like the core of the team, they're just going to keep getting better. I mean, just for like a bit of context, Toluca, like teams are supposed to do like youth minutes. And Toluca have like 8 youth players that have added minutes for them, so almost their full team is like a youth squad. So but they're like really solid, even though they are also young. I mean, their captain is 18-19 years old, and she's already like a really mature player and a player with a lot of experience in the league despite being so young. So I think that if they're able to hold on to Mariel Roman and to Natalia Mauleon and to all those players, I mean, as the time goes by, they're just going to keep getting better.
Yeah, that's interesting. If they can keep a core, I guess they're going to be a really good team then.
Yeah, because
I was gonna say, hopefully they build those players up so Chivas can buy them.
Well, I think that Mariel Roman had her contract expire like before this season, because I checked, like I kind of made like a shopping list for Chivas, and I remember I had Mariel Roman on my shopping list for Chivas. And I was like, well, I hope that maybe Nelly Simon will consider her. But I also had Alicia Cervantes and Jaramillo on my shopping list too for Chivas.
Yeah, well, there you go. Melissa, you should
Melissa
be
part of the scouting. Yeah, I was gonna say, you should be part of the scouting team.
Yeah, I mean, just hire me. Do whatever. Don't even hire me. Like, just ask me. Stop.
Then at the 55th minute, we had another controversial, I guess, play by the ref. Jocelyn Montoya, that's the first name, right? Yeah, Jocelyn Montoya had a shot blocked and deflected off the crossbar. It goes in, and then originally it's called a foul on Cervantes, who was trying to make sure the ball went into the goal. And then the ref I think she talked with her sideline ref, and they gave the goal to Chivas, so they went up 2-1 on that play.
Yeah, it took them so long to decide what was going to happen on that play. And I mean, that's also credit to Montoya. We haven't really seen her a lot, but she was the starting left winger for Chivas. Like she was on the position that Maria Sanchez has now. And she's also very, very young. She's 20. And she had actually been with Chivas for like over a year, but she had, I think, a knee injury. And then she had her debut, and just like 3 matches in after her debut, she was doing so well that Monica Vergara called her to the U20 national team. So she's been really, really solid. And I really want to see her get more minutes because she's very fast. I mean, I think that she still has some things that to work on. Like she's not maybe as good as creating chances for others, but she's really really good at finishing herself and at creating like those spaces for her to score goals. And she's also really like kind of fearless in terms of not being afraid to embrace like the bigger matches. I mean, we saw it against America last season or 2 seasons ago when it was like that 4-2 win, and she scored this like fantastic goal like with three defenders on top of her and past the goalkeeper. So she's like that kind of player that it's like really bold and she enjoys that. So I really want to see her get like maybe a few more minutes to show what she can do too.
Yeah, she came in for Palafox, who I think she also subbed in for her against Necaxa midweek. But it was nice to see her contribute to the team and get that goal for them.
Yeah, and I think that she's also going to need maybe some time to adapt because she's usually like playing on the left. She would switch sides with Ruby Soto and she would play the right side sometimes, but I think that she's also going to need maybe a little bit of more minutes to fully fit in on that role on that side.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so I guess we'll keep an eye on Montoya. I thought it was interesting that Palafox had a great debut, like the season opener, and then I feel like she wasn't as effective against Necaxa and Toluca. But like in interviews, I keep seeing that every player keeps saying that there's a lot of competition within the team. So I think lack of motivation is not going to be there, and I'm sure Palafox will bounce back, maybe against Mazatlan even.
Yeah, she dipped a little in the Necaxa game too,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I mean they've all been saying that competition's strong, so they all really need to step in and do their best all the time, like in training and in matches, because they know that that the team has a deeper bench and that they can just get subbed at any time. And like I think that also Chori is not afraid of making those ups like really early
Yeah.
or whenever he feels like he needs them. So that's also like a really clear message to players. Like you're not at your best. I mean, you're going out.
Yep. And then, we got another goal for Chivas at the 68th minute from Nicole Perez, assisted by Alicia Cervantes. I thought that was a really impressive shot that Perez took because that's like a quick thinking shot. She saw that the near post was open, so instead of kind of like taking her time to position herself and like try to curve the ball, she just poked it like with the front of her foot. I thought it was like a really smart play.
Yeah, I mean, and it's also like not the sort of play that we usually see from Nicole Perez. So I think that it's great. I mean, she's really raised her level. I feel like she was starting to go down a little bit, and maybe she wasn't doing as well as she used to. But it's great to see her. I see her really motivated this season to do better and to raise her level. Which I mean, she's also like very young. So I think that we sometimes forget that these players have been around for like 3 years, but they're all like 21, 20. So they've been
Yeah.
playing since they were like 16 or 17. But I think that she's having a really great season. I mean, in the two games she's been at, she's been doing great on the mid and also like contributing on attack. So I think that she's going to do really well this time.
Yeah, and then Alicia Cervantes with the assist, just showing she doesn't only just score, she's also she can set up her teammates. We saw her set up Tania Morales at the 71st minute at the top of the box, and her shot went off the crossbar. So she's not like that selfish striker that sometimes will shoot instead of passing it to a teammate in a better position. So I really like seeing that in this game too.
Was it
Yeah,
this?
and
I was gonna say, was it this game? She also had a 1-2 with Maria Hunches
Yeah.
where she tried to like chip it over the Sanchez tried to chip it over the goalie. It looked like.
Yeah,
It was
that
a
was
really
this.
nice 1-2 play
Hmm.
also. So yeah, like you said, she's like we said, she's playing with confidence. She looks like she can do it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Melissa. You mentioned that the team of the week had just come out like a couple minutes before we started recording, and I took the guesses as to who was going to be on it, and then surprised that Alicia Cervantes wasn't on it. But based off what I saw in that game, I figured she would have been on it if maybe she got like one more assist, she might have made it.
Yeah, I think that maybe another assist or another goal would have put her in there, but I mean we already have three players there. We can't just be selfish and we need to
She didn't.
share a little bit more with the rest of the teams.
Let me ask you this question: She didn't make the team of the week, but do you think she was the best player on the field that day, or do you think one of the other girls is better? Because I
Yeah,
saw
Uh,
like she has a lot of impact on the field.
yeah, I think that it would have to be like maybe a tie between her and Maria Sanchez.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
gonna say
Yeah. So
Maria
say.
Sanchez probably.
Yeah, I was gonna say to me it's either her or Sanchez, but that's what I'm saying. Like she's left off the team of the week, but without a doubt she's a star player.
I mean, you asked that, Luis, and it's interesting because the Liga MX Femenil account, like they pick their player of the week, and then Chivas also picks like not the player of the week, player of the match
Right, player of the
for
match.
every match. So they picked Blanca Felix as the player of the match, which I was surprised, but I was happy because I was like, to me
Right.
that block that I mentioned in the 1-on-1, that was like a crucial block because it could have changed the whole trajectory of the game. And then
She
the
had a big
Chivas
save early
Femenil,
too.
yeah, and then the Chivas Femenil account picked Maria Sanchez as the player of the match.
Yeah, because that's just like how well the team has been doing that you can have like these players really changing the match from different positions, and I think that's what's making Chivas so strong this season. So I mean either of them it's like really great.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say that like obviously I haven't been following as much as you or even Varo now, but like the team there's like every almost it almost seems like every position is like good players at every single position. So when you say like there's different, you can go so many ways with player of the game, and that's just like something that's good to see.
Yeah, I think that's like a problem you want to have.
Right. I was gonna ask, is that Chivas because of their talent, or how much does the coach have to do with some of that, Melissa? Because I know Troy he has new to the team. Like, can you see his fingerprints on the team or not yet?
I think that we're starting to see them because he's maybe okay. So maybe like the system can be like similar to what we've been seeing with Villa, which was like a 4-3-3. But the players Chore has been choosing to execute that have been like different ones.
Right.
So he's mainly switching up like the mid and also like on defense. The right center back, Michelle Gonzalez. This is like the these are like her first matches with Chivas. So maybe you could have gone with someone else who had like more matches under their belt and say, look, I'm still not going to bet on you because I don't know how you're going to perform. But Michelle Gonzalez has been like really embracing that, and also I think that Chore's impact has been precisely that, like in terms of seeing the players like so confident in themselves and like so feeling like so free on the pitch, because I feel like with Villa the team sometimes felt like a little bit more restricted or more controlled.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't see them like this free on the pitch, and like they sometimes it was like really everything was super tense. Like they were against Necaxa, which was supposed to be like an easier win, and it was like 1-0, and everybody was like super tight trying to hold on to that 1-0. So I think that also maybe not tactically, even though we do see like those little choices in terms of like, for example, subbing in Montoya like at the right moment and stuff like that. So I think that yeah, I mean we're starting to see that, but Chore has always been like really stressed that what he wants people to see, like beyond results or whatever, is people seeing that this team has like a lot of like guts or like greedy on the field, and you see everybody fighting for the balls and pressing and trying to push the team forward. So yeah, I mean I think that so far the main contribution has been like that change in mood for the
Mm-hmm.
team in terms of how you see them on the pitch and how they feel on the pitch. But as we go on, like we're going to see maybe those other changes. But on set pieces, I do see like a difference because maybe we Villa was like more experimental, But maybe he overdid it. And like the main change I see with Chore is that on corner kicks, everybody's waiting like outside the box and makes a run.
I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that.
And we never saw that with Villa. So those are like maybe the little changes that he's been able to implement, and maybe we'll see more as he keeps like developing the team.
I was gonna say like one thing I've noticed from the Chivas Femenil Twitter account, their social media account, is there seems to be like a real good camaraderie between the team. It's not everything is not just them practicing. Like you can see videos of them having fun in the locker room, having fun, and I think that kind of shows. It shows on the field that the team is, like you said, they're playing free, they're having fun. Which said the same can't be said about the men's team. but they definitely look like whatever they're doing off the field seems to be working on the field also.
Yeah, I mean you see like the players really get along. I mean, and you see that like also on social media, like they post that they're eating together or they're playing pranks on each other and stuff like that. That really, I mean, it doesn't show maybe on the pitch, but it does help because that means that they're having like a really healthy atmosphere, and of course that always like helps to perform better if you're not at odds with your teammates.
Right, it at least shows that they're all in on together. Right, they're all together, or they're all as a unit. They're all as one, working together, and that, like you said, it can't hurt.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's something that we were wondering, like what was going to happen, because you bring in a coach like 2 weeks before season starts, and if that coach doesn't gel or doesn't create that kind of an environment with the players, you are doomed. Like you're not going to be able to switch again. So I think it was really important that Chore was able like to build that trust and that sense of freedom for them too.
Well, I mean, you can't switch. You could just ask the men's team, but it doesn't work.
You could switch every other week.
Yeah, but we've never seen that in the women's league. Like everybody just sticks to their coach, like no matter how good or bad results are, and we don't really see like a lot of switches for coaches like we see in the men's side. Maybe we'll get there, but not yet.
No, I think it's good though, like to have consistency at coach. Like, you let projects play out. You don't rush to firing coaches and getting all these players. I like what I've seen from Chivas Femenil. Like Luis said, like that like all the content they're putting out, and like they all seem like they're friends and like they hang out and stuff. So yeah, I think it translates, I think, onto the field.
A lot different than Alexis Vega and Antuna's content. Not that type of fun.
Yeah, no, I actually saw like an Instagram post. I think it was Yaneli Farias, that she was giving like a healthy yogurt to Yashira Barrientos, and Yashira said that she didn't like the taste. So I mean, you see them like hanging together, but like being good influences on each other instead of dragging the other to parties or stuff like that. So I mean, that's also like, I think, credit to Nelly, because you can see that the players that they brought in, they also bring like better, like they're like trying to be more professional, and they're players who are not only like good quality on the pitch, but off the pitch you can see them like trying to build like a better culture on the team, like of being fitter and eating better and that kind of things. So I think that also adds a lot to what the team's doing, like maybe things that we don't see, but you can tell that the players are like pushing each other to be better and to take better care of themselves, like even beyond training.
Yeah, the recipes that Janelli puts on Instagram, like I just feel like so guilty eating what I'm eating when I'm watching. I was like, wow, like it's like super clean. Like she had I think tortillas de nopal for like for like tacos, and I was like, wow, like compared to like the flour and the corn tortillas we eat, like I was like, I gotta watch my weight. And then she has like the Monday motivation post that she does. Like,
those are great too. And I mean, it's crazy because she's supposed to have had like shoulder surgery and maybe like not be as fit, but she's even fitter than before she got injured. Like I don't know what witchcraft is that, but she's going to come in like in better shape. And I mean, that speaks to the work ethic that she has. And I mean, of course, that drops into the rest of the players. I mean, she's mentioned that she likes playing with Kimberly Guzman, who is like a very young 17-year-old center back. And for players that young, like to see someone pushing that hard and with that level of discipline, I mean, if you're willing to take that guidance, it's going to do wonders for her and her career long term too.
Yeah, and then to wrap it up with Janelli, her roommate scored a golazo at the 88th minute against Toluca. And I saw on Instagram, I think Maria Sanchez credited to Janelli's great home cooked meals.
Yeah, so she's going to she's even though she's not playing, she's still helping the team, which is what you want.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, it was a golazo for Maria.
Yeah, that was she ripped it, and she got the goalie in a bad position, and she golazo.
Yeah, it was worth the wait for her because I think that she was maybe like a bit frustrated trying to get that first goal. I mean, even though she's been playing at a fantastic level, I guess that at the back of her mind it was still like I need to get that goal, but she really made up for the lost time with that golazo.
That's her first goal?
Yeah, she had never scored with Chivas, but I mean she's only played 7 matches with the team, so I wouldn't put too much pressure on her for that.
Yeah, that's a great debut goal. And then
but she's had great assists too. So.
Yeah, she's been dropping dimes every game, so can't uncredit her for that. Then Tania Morales also made her return in this game. Melissa, was she coming off an injury?
Yeah, I mean I heard that there was nothing like official from the club, but I heard that it was like an injury that she was, because we weren't even seeing her on training videos. I was looking for her, and I was wondering what was happening. But then when they said there were no positive COVID tests, I thought, okay, then it must be an injury. And she did make her return. I was really curious to see how she would do, because knowing that she wasn't maybe like completely fit, but I think that she was really doing well when she came in on the pitch.
Yeah, I think she did fine for her return. She has to work herself back into playing shape, and she almost even scored a goal. That shot that hit the crossbar.
Yeah, I mean, even though she's like the most veteran player on the team, and whatever physical ailments she may have, like that touch on her left foot, it's always going to be there. So I really want to see more of her too.
And then Chivas Femenile's next game will be against Mazatlan on Monday night. I think 8:00 Eastern Standard Time. I know a lot of people listen in Cali, so that'd be like 5 p.m. your time. Texas, I think 7. I think that's where most of our listens come from, Cali and Texas. So shout out to you guys.
Yeah, and that's going to be played like at the Estadio Akron, so they're back on the stadium too.
Yeah, and Mazatlan Femenil is they're a new franchise, right? So I know you said, Melissa, in our preview pod we talked about them briefly. That not all the Morelia players re-signed with them.
Purple Morelia.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask. I was like, did they just take all the Morelia Femenil team and bring them over?
No, they have like 10 Morelia players, and there are like 2 from San Luis that I remember seeing at San Luis, and they kind of like just built from other teams. But I mean, they do have like a good roster. Right. They got like a tough first couple of matches. Like they opened against Atlas, and they lost 4-1 against both Atlas and Tigres, but they were able to score and like to be actually the first team to score. So they kind of look poised to pull off an upset or two, and they're just coming in off a win against Necaxa. So that's also going to like boost their morale a little bit. And I do think that they're going to be. I expect Chivas to win, but it's not maybe going to be as easy as one would expect from like facing the newest team on the league.
Yeah, hopefully they don't pull that upset against us.
Yeah, I hope not. But I mean, they're also like really bold. I mean, you don't see them like trying to park the bus or anything. They really just try to go and score. So it's going to be a fun one. I think that Chivas can take advantage of those openings if they decide to go also through that route.
Yeah, I hope it's a fun game to watch, because so far all the games have been fun to watch. Can't say the same for the men's, but Femenil not letting us down. There's a positive vibes only.
Yeah, let's think that they're going to win like 4-0 and 4 more goals to Alicia Cervantes, and everything's going to be okay. I need to prep my SpongeBob memes, because I know that Amelia is always making like SpongeBob jokes about Mazatlan, so I need to get those ready for this game.
Melissa, on the last pod, we kind of did like a mini deep dive on Alicia Cervantes' path to Chivas, and then we talked and we figured it'd be a good idea to do like a kind of like a player profile on a different player from Chivas Femenil each week, just so that listeners can, know a little bit more about the players and be able to relate to them more. We didn't plan this. We planned this before she scored her first goal for Chivas. And this week we decided to do a little mini deep dive on Maria Sanchez, left winger for Chivas. She scored that golazo against Toluca late in the game. She's been racking up assists since she started the season. But yeah, I'll just read off like a couple interesting notes about her. She's originally from Napa, Idaho, USA. She's 24 years old. While I was doing my research, I was disappointed to find out she's only at Chivas on loan from Chicago. So I don't know how long she'll stick around at Chivas or if Chivas will buy her from Chicago. But
doesn't sound like a team that could hold back Chivas from buying her.
I don't know. I think Chicago is like really well. She's really well run. I think they have.
Yeah, the Red Stars, they are like really doing well, but they were also not playing her. So I don't know. I didn't know it was a loan. I thought that she was coming in after her contract expired.
Yeah, I thought they bought her, but from the I did the research I did. It said that she came from Chicago on loan. So I hope they buy her because she's been killing it so far. When she was in high school in Idaho, she played soccer and she was the leading goal scorer all 4 years. So she went from scoring 26, 34, 50, and then 78 goals in the season. Like, you know how many 78 goals in the year? Like, bro.
What?
I mean, you can put me with no one else on the pitch and I wouldn't be able to score 78 goals.
That's true. Even shooting around, I'll probably miss the goal.
I'm just messing around.
Despite her like really impressive numbers, Idaho State University was the only college that offered her a scholarship. So she went to Idaho State University. She scored 7 goals and led the conference with 8 assists in her freshman year. In her sophomore year, her team had 1 win, 1 tie, and 15 losses. But in those games, she scored 15 goals and had 4 assists in 17 games.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, like you're on a team that's not really good, but you're the standout player because you got 15 goals, 4 assists. And that was her freshman year. And then in her sophomore year, she tried to leave ISU because, she wanted to go to a more competitive environment. ISU tried to block the move, claiming that it was like some sort of tampering and, some sort of NCAA violation. I know we're not like NCAA like
experts.
Experts and stuff, but yeah, NCAA does a lot of shady stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised. Like I figured, transferring colleges would be simple, but it was a big deal until it wasn't. It got resolved. She moved on to Santa Clara University, where she played all 23 games of their season. She scored 5 goals and tied for most assists in the year at for 6 assists. And then in her sophomore year, she played 19 games, scored 8 goals, and led all NCAA Division I colleges and universities with 16 assists. So she's been dropping dimes since college and probably even high school. Like I couldn't find the stats for that, but she creates scoring opportunities. And if you watch her play, like the way she dribbles around, she even has like a lot of videos on YouTube of like dribbling skills and stuff, things that she does. Like I could never ever do in my life.
Yeah, and she's mentioned that she feels like her game is maybe better suited for, like, for example, the Mexican League because she's more technical. And maybe like we have this expectation of like Mexican American or players in the US that they're like more physical and not so technical. But she's like super talented with that. And like you can tell that she's worked super hard also to like develop her skills.
Yeah, she can dribble. She can dribble really well and like get past defenders. Like she has like a nice like crossover steps that she does. I've seen like a couple of highlights of her for like in the selección, and she balls out there too. So that's what I'm saying. Like when I found out she was here on loan, I was like, damn, like I really wanted her to stay at Chivas long term. But after college, she was you're right. She was drafted from Chicago Red Stars in 2019 as the 15th pick of the second round. So, second round draft pick, not bad. And, now she's at Chivas. She made her debut against Cholos, I think, in February of 2020, and it took her a while to get going with Chivas. I think because, like Melissa had mentioned before, she was away at the U20 with the U20 national team.
Yeah, no, she was at the Olympic qualifiers
Oh,
in
right.
at the beginning of this year. Yeah, and I think that also like the interesting thing with her is that she had like a really fantastic high school career. I mean, they even retired her jersey,
Mm-hmm.
so like that's how big of a star she was. And then at the university, she also had like a fantastic like college career. And then when she got drafted by Red Stars, and she was like the 15th pick overall, so she was like really well positioned to like try to build a career there. And then she wasn't really getting playing time. I mean, she only played 7 matches with Chicago, and those are the matches that she has already played with Chivas. Like, so she wasn't getting like a lot of time, and I wasn't. I started following Chicago because of the Mexican players, but I did see like other people who had followed her more saying like they were wondering like why she isn't she getting like more playing time because she's like so talented. But I mean, sometimes it just doesn't work out. I mean, even though they picked you in the draft, they they might not have like or be able to find a way to put you on the pitch. So I think that it was maybe it must have been like frustrating to think that after you did so well in high school and college, you are going to take off as a pro and not being able to gain that like that stability there and like that consistent playing time. And then she, when the move was announced in December, she wasn't really able to be with the team, like you mentioned, until February because she was with the national team in the Olympic qualifiers, and she only got what like 3 or 4 matches with Chivas before the season was cancelled. So I think that in a way, seeing her do so well right now is fantastic because you are seeing her find her footing as a now as a professional player and to be able to perform and to have like that stability that I think that she was lacking since her college career must be really great for her too.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure her transition from you go from Idaho to Cali to Chicago and then to Guadalajara. I'm sure like all those transitions are difficult, especially on a young player like she is. So I'm glad that she's finally finding her footing and getting going, dropping assists, and now she's scoring goals. So I'm really happy with the progress she's making with at Chivas.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't expect her like to build a full career in Chivas. I mean, I know this is probably just like a step for her, like to maybe try to go to Europe or return to the States, because I
Hmm.
know that that's where her level is at. I know that she can
Yeah.
make it, but it's really great that in a way both parties can benefit. Like if she does well in Chivas, you're having like a really big spotlight because Chivas is like one of the biggest clubs, and I know that she also has like a really good agency. I mean, she's with the marketing jersey, which is like the same agency as Janely Farias and as Norma Palafox, but also the same agency as Charlene Corral and Kenty Robles. So if she can have like really good performances here, that's going to get her noticed in Europe or the States or wherever she wants to go. So I'm sure that she's taking this like an like maybe it wouldn't have been like her first choice coming to Chivas right now, but I think that it can also be like a really good chance for her to just like finishing developing her or establishing herself as a name because like I know that she even though people who follow the women's game know her in Mexico, she wasn't like as well known for the league when she came in maybe. So I think that she's going to really build a name for herself. I mean, she already has with just these 3 performances that she's really doing well. So I think that it's going to be interesting to see like how this pans out. But it's going to be really really great for her and for Chivas that she does well.
Yeah, and it's crazy like her how she made it to the national team. It was her ISU. From what I read, it was her ISU coach that suggested she try out for the women's national team, and then she made it to a World Cup with them, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I also heard that it was like Renata Maciarelli, who is she's now with America, but she was studying at the US. She did a college career there, and she also told her like go over and try out because you can really do it. So I think that also for her it must have been like a real struggle trying to build her football career because I mean I'm not like an expert on that, but like I know that it's harder in the US to play soccer if you don't have like a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
probably. Yeah.
so that's why she was only able to play until high school because she maybe wasn't able to afford those resources that to like play at a club and pay to be able to play there, which I think that also like it must have also built like her character. Like I've had to work so hard to get to where I am and to jump from from Idaho, which is maybe like not a place that isn't like as much on the soccer radar for us, and
Hmm.
to be able to make it to the national team and to getting like a good draft pick and then now to shining with Chivas. I think that it's been like quite a journey for her, even though she's so young. So I think that we're still going to see like a lot of great things from her.
Yeah, I'm excited to keep watching her. So if you're just starting to get into Chivas Femenil, knowing a little background or knowing a little extra about the players is, it helps you transition into following the team and getting to know the players.
Nah, it's definitely important that you guys keep doing this. 'Cause especially like me, like I started watching because of the goal that was it the goal? No, Cervantes, the play where she puts it between the player's legs and then gets the shot off. It was like 2 3 weeks ago, something like that.
Oh,
That's
the
what made me
spin,
want
the
to.
spin move, and then the juke in the
Oh yeah,
box.
the spin.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's what made me. I was like, all right, you posted the video, you posted the GIF or the video. I can't remember. Um, and then that started making me looking her up, and I was like, I'm gonna start watching the games. That's what made me want to watch the last two games. But it's so important to know who these players are, what their backgrounds are, because that makes you want to watch it even more when you find out their stories.
Yeah, and I think that the interesting thing with the league is that we see players with like really different journeys. Like you have like Mexican American players who have developed on in the states and under like different a different process. And like even between Mexican American players, you see like some differences too in terms of what they've been through. And in Mexico, you have like players who didn't really have like a formal training process and who have just like gone through the ranks from playing like amateur and without like an academy or whatever into making it as a professional player. I mean, Norma Palafox was even like a referee at her local league before she was a soccer player.
Crazy.
Blanca Felix was a black belt in karate, and because there
mm-hmm.
was no football teams in the place where she comes from, so she had to take up karate to be able to be at a sport. So there are all these interesting storylines, and it's also great. I mean, to see them come together and to see like players with all these different backgrounds come together as a team and to into what we see now. So I think it's always like really interesting to look into those stories and find out about their journeys too.
Melissa, was Maria Sanchez the player that had the incident on the bus,
Which
or
one?
am I thinking of somebody else? When with the America bus driver?
No, that was Michelle Gonzalez.
Oh, that's Michelle Gonzalez. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's the center back. Okay, so we'll save that. We'll save that story because I know when we that episode that got messed up, we talked about it, but now we can save that when we do Michelle Gonzalez's profile.
Yeah, no, that wasn't Maria. Maria is she's what roommates with Janely Farias.
Yeah,
So we have like the two Mexican American players on the team living together. So they should do a sitcom or some YouTube videos or something. I think it would be fun.
yeah, they should. Melissa, anything else you want to add before we head out?
Well, nothing. Just like let's keep supporting the team and just keep hoping that they stay super leaders all the way to Liguilla and to the trophy. But yeah, I mean they're just like it's really great to see them. And I remember Miriam Garcia was mentioning in an interview that this feels like all the work they've been putting in for a year is finally like translating into these results they're getting. So it's kind of great to see like that process that started with hiring Nelly Simon as sporting director like really show up in these results that we're seeing now. But yeah, I mean, just keep supporting, and we're just over there at Chivas Femenil English to help anyone out who wants to follow the team and the league.
All right, there you have it. Chivas' Femenil next game will be against Mazatlan on Monday night. I think you can definitely use the Telemundo Deportes app if you're in the United States, and I think they might live stream it on YouTube. I'm not 100% sure, but if anything, they put up the replay after. So, there's definitely ways to watch it. If you don't know how to watch it, you can add us on Twitter. You can add Melissa on Twitter, and we're happy to help. We're happy to direct you to the game. But this has been another episode of the Chivas Del Norte podcast, and we're out.